Gianna's heart shattered like glass under the fluorescent lights of JFK Airport as the TSA agent sneered. "Sorry, kid. But with that flag on your backpack, you're not boarding today's security risk." Tears stung her eyes, the rainbow patch she'd sewn on herself now a scarlet letter in this sea of indifferent travelers. But then from the shadows of the checkpoint, a voice boomed like thunder. "That's my daughter you're harassing, and as a U.S. Customs inspector, I demand you step aside now." Gianna Rossi had always felt like an outsider in her own skin, growing up in the bustling suburbs of Long Island where conformity was king. At 17, she was the girl with the cropped hair, the one who preferred flannel shirts over frilly dresses, and the one whose heart raced not for the quarterback but for the quiet artist in her AP English class. That artist was Valentina Morales, a transfer student from Miami with sun-kissed skin, eyes like molten chocolate, and a laugh that could melt the iciest New York winter. They met during a school project on American literature, bonding over Walt Whitman's poems about love that transcended boundaries. "Leaves of Grass speaks to the soul," Valentina had said, her fingers brushing Gianna's as they flipped pages in the library. That touch ignited something deep within Gianna, a spark of recognition, of belonging. But belonging was a luxury Gianna couldn't afford. Her mother, Rachel Rossi, was a no-nonsense U.S. Customs and Border Protection inspector at JFK, a job that demanded unwavering patriotism and zero tolerance for anything that smelled of rebellion. Rachel had raised Gianna alone after her father walked out when she was 5, instilling values of hard work, respect for the law, and keeping personal matters private. "We don't air our laundry, Gianna," Rachel would say, her voice clipped from years of interrogating travelers. Gianna loved her mother fiercely, but the weight of unspoken truths pressed down like the humid summer air. She hadn't come out yet, fearing it would shatter the fragile peace they'd built. The trouble started on a crisp autumn day when Gianna and Valentina decided to skip last period and sneak into Central Park. Under the golden canopy of falling leaves, Valentina confessed her feelings first. "Gianna, I see you, the real you. And I like what I see." Their first kiss was tentative, sweet, like biting into a ripe peach. From that moment, they were inseparable, stealing moments in coffee shops, holding hands under diner tables, whispering dreams of a future where they didn't have to hide. Valentina, whose family had immigrated from Cuba when she was a child, understood the fear of not fitting in. In Miami, my abuelita would say, "Love is love, mija." But here? It's like we're aliens. As winter approached, their relationship deepened. Gianna introduced Valentina to her favorite spots: the hidden bookstores in Greenwich Village, the street performers in Washington Square Park. They talked about college, Gianna dreaming of NYU's film program, Valentina eyeing Columbia for journalism. But shadows loomed. Rumors spread at school. A jealous ex-friend snapped a photo of them kissing and posted it anonymously online. Gianna's phone buzzed with cruel messages. "Freak. Disgusting." She deleted them, but the poison seeped in. One evening, Rachel found Gianna crying in her room. "What's wrong, tesoro?" she asked, using the Italian endearment from her heritage. Gianna hesitated, then blurted it out. "Mom, I'm gay. And I'm in love with Valentina." Rachel's face paled, her inspector instincts kicking in. She paced the room, hands clasped behind her back like she was grilling a suspect. "Gianna, this could complicate things. At work, I see how the world treats people who are different. Borders aren't just lines on a map. They're in people's minds." But then she stopped, pulled Gianna into a hug. "I love you. We'll figure it out." Relief washed over Gianna, but it was short-lived. Valentina's family was devoutly Catholic, and when her parents discovered the relationship through the same online photo, they exploded. "This is not who we raised you to be," her father shouted. They forbade her from seeing Gianna, grounding her and monitoring her phone. Valentina sneaked out when she could, but the strain showed in her tired eyes. "I can't lose you," she whispered during a stolen midnight call. The turning point came during spring break. Gianna had saved up for tickets to a queer film festival in San Francisco. A chance to escape, to be themselves openly. "It's our adventure," she told Valentina, eyes sparkling. But at the airport, disaster struck. Gianna arrived first, her backpack adorned with that rainbow patch, a symbol of pride she'd sewn on after coming out to her mom. The line for security was endless, travelers shuffling like zombies. When it was her turn, the TSA agent, a burly man with a badge that read Officer Hale, scanned her ID then eyed the patch. "What's this?" he asked, voice dripping with disdain. Gianna straightened. "It's a rainbow. For pride." Hale's lips curled. "Pride, huh? In my line that looks like a statement. Potential disruption." He called over a supervisor, whispering. Minutes stretched into an hour as they pulled her aside, searching her bag, questioning her motives. "You traveling alone? Any affiliations?" Gianna's voice trembled. "I'm just going to a film festival with my girlfriend." The word girlfriend sealed it. The supervisor shook his head. "We're denying boarding. Security protocol." Gianna's world tilted. She texted Valentina, who was en route. "They won't let me through. Help." But Valentina's reply was delayed. Her parents had confiscated her phone again. Alone in the holding area, Gianna fought back sobs, the American dream feeling like a cruel joke. That's when Rachel arrived. She'd been on shift nearby, alerted by a colleague. Storming in, badge flashing, she demanded explanations. "This is discrimination, pure and simple," she barked. Hale faltered. "Ma'am, it's policy." "Policy, my ass," Rachel cut in. "I'm Inspector Rossi, and this ends now." She pulled strings, cited regulations, and within minutes, Gianna was cleared. But the damage was done. The flight was missed. Valentina arrived too late, finding Gianna in her mother's arms. "I'm sorry," she whispered, joining the embrace. Rachel looked between them, her stern facade cracking. "You two deserve better than this country sometimes gives." That night, over pizza in their small apartment, Rachel shared her own story. A lost love from her youth, a woman she'd let go to fit in. "I won't let that happen to you," she vowed. As they rescheduled the trip, Gianna felt a fragile hope bloom. But whispers of betrayal lingered. Valentina's parents were plotting to send her back to Miami. The drama was just beginning. The rescheduled flight to San Francisco became a beacon of hope for Gianna and Valentina, but the shadows of doubt crept in like fog over the Hudson. Rachel, using her inspector privileges, ensured smooth passage this time, even upgrading their seats. "Consider it a peace offering," she said with a rare smile. On the plane, Gianna and Valentina held hands under a blanket, whispering about the festival's lineup. Films about queer icons, panel discussions on identity in America. "This is our fresh start," Valentina murmured, her head on Gianna's shoulder. San Francisco welcomed them with open arms. Rainbow flags fluttering from every lamppost, the Castro district alive with energy. They checked into a cozy Airbnb in the Mission, a mural-covered neighborhood pulsing with Latinx culture that reminded Valentina of home. Their days were filled with wonder, strolling hand-in-hand through Golden Gate Park, sharing churros at a street fair, attending screenings where stories like theirs unfolded on screen. One film about two women defying societal norms in the 1950s hit close to home. "That's us," Gianna said, tears streaming. Valentina wiped them away. "But we'll have a better ending." Yet cracks appeared. Valentina's phone buzzed incessantly with calls from her parents. "Come home or we'll cut you off," her mother pleaded in voicemails. Valentina confided in Gianna one night on a foggy beach, waves crashing like their emotions. "They think this is a phase. That you're influencing me." Gianna's heart ached. "Am I? Influencing you badly?" Valentina pulled her close. "No, amor. You're saving me." Back in New York, Rachel wrestled with her own demons. At work, she overheard colleagues joking about those types at checkpoints, reminding her of the bigotry ingrained in the system. She started attending PFLAG meetings secretly, learning how to support Gianna better. "I was blind," she admitted to a group one evening, "but love opened my eyes." Summer brought internship opportunities. Gianna landed a spot at a local film studio, editing shorts about social justice. Valentina, interning at a newspaper, wrote pieces on immigrant rights, drawing from her family's story. Their evenings were magical, picnics in Prospect Park, dancing at underground queer clubs in Brooklyn. But jealousy simmered. A co-intern at Valentina's paper, a charismatic woman named Sophia, flirted openly. "She's just friendly," Valentina insisted when Gianna voiced concerns. One humid July night, after a fight about Sophia, Valentina stormed out. Gianna waited up, worry-gnawing. When Valentina returned at dawn, smelling of cheap beer, she confessed, "I kissed her." "I'm sorry, Gianna. I was confused." The betrayal hit like a punch. Gianna recoiled. "How could you? After everything?" Tears flowed as Valentina explained her fears. Pressure from family, uncertainty about their future. "I love you, but sometimes I feel trapped." They spent days apart, Gianna crashing at a friend's, pouring her pain into a short film script about fractured love. Rachel noticed, offering quiet support. "Betrayal hurts, but forgiveness heals," she said, sharing tea on the fire escape. Gianna nodded, but doubt lingered. Reconciliation came during a thunderstorm. Valentina showed up soaked, pounding on the door. "I choose you, Gianna. Always." They talked through the night, rebuilding trust brick by brick. "We're stronger for this," Gianna whispered as they fell asleep entwined. But external forces conspired. Valentina's parents arrived unannounced, demanding she return to Miami. "This lifestyle isn't for you," her father bellowed in their apartment. Rachel intervened, her inspector authority shining. "This is her home now. Respect that." The confrontation escalated, words like weapons. Valentina stood firm. "I love Gianna. That's not changing." As fall loomed, college applications added stress. Gianna got into NYU, but Valentina's Columbia dream hinged on scholarships her parents controlled. If they pull funding, Valentina trailed off. Gianna hugged her. "We'll find a way." A glimmer of hope came at a family dinner Rachel hosted. She cooked lasagna, inviting Valentina's parents. Tensions were high, but over wine stories flowed. Rachel's Italian roots, the Morales-Cuban journey. "We all cross borders for a better life," Rachel said. Slowly, barriers softened. Valentina's mother admitted, "I just want her happy." Yet the peace was fragile. Sophia reappeared, texting Valentina late at night. Gianna discovered the messages, igniting another storm. "Is this betrayal again?" she demanded. Valentina swore it was innocent, but seeds of doubt sprouted. The climax built toward Thanksgiving. Gianna planned a surprise getaway to the Catskills, a cabin where they could reconnect. But on the drive up, Valentina's phone rang, her parents, offering full tuition if she ended things with Gianna. "Think about your future," they urged. Valentina hesitated, and in that moment Gianna saw the chasm. "Do you want out?" she asked, voice breaking. Valentina pulled over, tears streaming. "No, but I'm scared." They talked under starry skies, emotions raw. "Love isn't easy in this world," Valentina said. "But you're my world." Back home, Rachel sensed the turmoil. "Fight for what matters," she advised. Gianna nodded, determined. But whispers of a deeper betrayal emerged. Sophia had been feeding lies to Valentina's parents, hoping to win her over. The confrontation with Sophia was dramatic. In a crowded coffee shop. "Stay away," Gianna warned. Sophia smirked. "She deserves better." Valentina arrived, choosing Gianna publicly. "We're done with games." As winter set in, healing began. They volunteered at a queer youth center, finding purpose in helping others. Rachel, promoted at work, advocated for anti-discrimination training. "Change starts from within," she said. But the story wasn't over. A final test awaited. The holiday season in New York wrapped the city in twinkling lights, but for Gianna and Valentina, it felt like walking a tightrope over an abyss. Thanksgiving dinner at Rachel's had been a tentative success. Valentina's parents, though stiff, exchanged recipes with Rachel, a small bridge over cultural divides. "Your lasagna reminds me of my abuela's pastels," Mrs. Morales said, a crack in her armor. Yet under the table, Valentina squeezed Gianna's hand, signaling unspoken fears. December brought snow and secrets. Gianna dove into her NYU classes, majoring in film with a minor in gender studies, channeling her pain into a documentary about queer teens in America. Valentina, at Columbia, excelled in journalism, her articles on LGBTQ+ rights gaining traction. They met for study dates in cozy cafes, steam from lattes mingling with their breaths. "Your words inspire me," Gianna said, reading Valentina's latest piece. But Sophia's shadow lingered. Anonymous emails to Gianna claimed Valentina was still in touch with her. Doubt festered like an untreated wound. One icy evening, Gianna confronted Valentina in their shared dorm. Rachel's gift, a small apartment near campus. "Show me your phone," Gianna demanded, hating herself for it. Valentina hesitated, then handed it over. No incriminating messages, but the pause spoke volumes. "I deleted them," Valentina admitted. "Sophia won't stop, but I ignore her." Gianna's heart cracked. Ignoring isn't enough. Block her. Valentina did, but the trust was bruised. Christmas Eve amplified the drama. Rachel hosted a blended family gathering, string lights twinkling like stars. Valentina's parents arrived with gifts, trying. But midway through, Mr. Morales pulled Valentina aside. "We found a nice boy from church. End this nonsense." Valentina exploded. "This isn't nonsense. It's my life." The room fell silent. Gianna stepped in, voice steady. "Sir, with respect, love isn't a choice." Rachel backed her. "As someone who enforces borders, I know some walls need tearing down." The night ended in tears and tentative hugs, but the seed of rebellion grew in Valentina. "I won't let them control me," she vowed to Gianna later, under the covers. Their kiss was passionate, reaffirming but laced with desperation. New Year's brought resolution, and betrayal's sting. At a Times Square party, amidst confetti and cheers, Sophia appeared, cornering Valentina in the crowd. Gianna watched from afar as they argued. Then Sophia leaned in for a kiss. Valentina pushed her away, but the damage was captured on a friend's phone, going viral in their social circle. Gianna's phone lit up with notifications. "How could you?" she texted, fleeing into the night. Valentina chased her through snowy streets. "It wasn't me. She forced it." But Gianna, raw from past hurts, shut down. "I need space." She crashed at Rachel's, sobbing into her mother's arms. Rachel listened, then shared a deeper truth. "I once loved a woman named Maria, back in college. I betrayed her by choosing safety over love. Don't repeat my mistakes." Days blurred into weeks of silence. Valentina poured her anguish into writing, publishing an op-ed about internalized homophobia and family pressure. It went national, drawing praise and backlash from her parents. "You've shamed us," they said, cutting financial support. Gianna read the piece, heart-softening. She reached out. "Meet me at our spot." In Central Park, under the same tree where they first kissed, they reconciled. "I believe you," Gianna said. "But we need boundaries." Valentina agreed, blocking Sophia everywhere. Spring semester tested their renewed bond. Protests erupted on campus over anti-LGBTQ+ bills in other states, drawing them into activism. They marched together, signs high. "Love wins." Media coverage spotlighted them, a symbol of young queer love. But fame invited trolls. Hateful messages flooded their inboxes, echoing the airport incident. Rachel's promotion to senior inspector brought perks and peril. She investigated a discrimination case at JFK, uncovering systemic bias. "I'm fighting from the inside," she told Gianna. But it ruffled feathers. Anonymous threats arrived at home. The high drama peaked at a campus gala. Valentina was honored for her journalism, Gianna beaming proudly. Sophia crashed, drunk and vengeful, accusing Valentina of plagiarism in front of everyone. Chaos ensued, shouts, security called. Valentina defended herself. "Lies. Check the sources." Investigation cleared her, but the scandal shook her confidence. Gianna stood by her, their love deepening through the fire. "We're unbreakable," she whispered during late-night talks. They dreamed of marriage, adoption, a life defying odds. But family fractures widened. Valentina's parents disowned her formally, via letter. Choose God over sin. Devastated, Valentina leaned on Gianna and Rachel, who became a surrogate mother. "Your family now," Rachel said. As summer approached, a trip to Miami loomed, Valentina's attempt at reconciliation. Gianna joined, nervous. The visit was tense. Arguments about faith, identity. Mr. Morales stormed out. Mrs. Morales wept. "I miss my daughter," she confessed. A breakthrough came over cafecito. Valentina shared stories of their love's joy. "It's real, Mommy." Back in New York, healing continued. Gianna's documentary premiered at a festival, earning accolades. It featured their story, anonymized, highlighting resilience. Yet, a final betrayal loomed. Rachel discovered a colleague had leaked her PFLG involvement, jeopardizing her job. They say I'm biased, she confided. Gianna rallied. Fight it. We're with you. The hearing was dramatic, Rachel testifying about equality under the law. Support poured in from allies, turning the tide. She kept her position stronger. Through it all, Gianna and Valentina's bond evolved. From youthful passion to mature partnership. We've weathered storms, Valentina said. But the horizon held more challenges. With senior year underway, Gianna and Valentina navigated the complexities of young adulthood, in a city that never slept, their love a anchor amid the chaos. Gianna's film projects flourished. She directed a short about immigrant queer experiences, casting Valentina as narrator. Your voice brings it to life, Gianna said during editing sessions, their fingers intertwining over the keyboard. Valentina's journalism career took off too. An internship at the New York Times, where she covered social justice beats. I'm making a difference, she beamed. But old wounds reopened. Sophia, undeterred, filed a false harassment claim against Valentina, dragging them into legal drama. This is revenge, Valentina fumed in their lawyer's office. Rachel, leveraging her connections, helped gather evidence. The case was dismissed, but the stress strained their relationship. Late nights turned into arguments. You should have cut her off sooner, Gianna accused. Valentina snapped back. I did. Why can't you trust me? Therapy became their lifeline. In a cozy office overlooking the East River, they unpacked traumas, the airport denial, family rejections, betrayals. Love requires vulnerability, the counselor said. They emerged closer, tools in hand for conflicts. Rachel's life intersected dramatically when she busted a human trafficking ring at JFK, earning a commendation. But it exposed her to danger. A suspect threatened retaliation. Stay safe, Mom, Gianna urged. Rachel shrugged. It's the job. Secretly, she worried about her girls. A romantic getaway to Cape Cod offered respite. Sandy beaches, lobster rolls, sunsets painting the sky. They renewed vows of sorts. Through thick and thin, Gianna said, slipping a promise ring on Valentina's finger. Forever, Valentina replied. Back home, crisis struck. Valentina's abuelita fell ill in Miami, prompting a rushed flight. Gianna accompanied, facing the Morales family again. Tensions boiled at the hospital. You brought this curse, Mr. Morales accused, blaming their lifestyle. Valentina broke. Abuelita loves me as I am. The grandmother, weak but lucid, squeezed Valentina's hand. Be happy, Mija. She passed peacefully, leaving a will that included Valentina, defying her son's wishes. Grief bonded them, but Mr. Morales's fury peaked. He disinvited Valentina from the funeral unless she came alone. No sinners. Heartbroken, Valentina refused. Gianna held her through sobs. We'll honor her our way. They held a private memorial in New York with Rachel and friends. The betrayals ripple. Mrs. Morales reached out secretly. I was wrong. Come visit. A tentative reunion followed, seeds of acceptance planted. As graduation neared, dreams crystallized. Gianna landed a fellowship in LA for queer cinema. Valentina a reporter gig in DC. Long distance. Gianna fretted. Valentina smiled. We've survived worse. The high-stakes climax arrived at commencement. Amid cheers, a protest erupted. Anti-LGBTQ+ activists picketing. Sophia led them, signs blaring hate. Go home, freaks, she shouted. Valentina, mic in hand for a speech, pivoted. Today I stand for love in all forms. Despite betrayals, we rise. The crowd roared approval. Gianna rushed the stage, kissing her boldly. Security escorted Sophia away. Post-grad, they moved to DC together, Valentina's job, Gianna freelancing. Rachel visited often, proud. You've taught me bravery. But one last twist. Rachel faced a career crossroads. A promotion required relocating to Texas, a state with harsh laws. I can't support that system, she confided. Instead, she retired early, starting a nonprofit for LGBTQ+ border advocacy. Inspired by you too. Their life settled into rhythm. Advocacy events, cozy nights watching films, building a chosen family. Conflicts arose, job stresses, distance from roots, but communication bridged them. A year later at a DC Pride parade, Gianna proposed under rainbow banners. "Marry me." Valentina said yes, tears of joy. The wedding was intimate, in a Brooklyn garden. Rachel walked Gianna down the aisle. Mrs. Morales attended, Mr. absent but sending a card. Vows echoed emotions. From denial to defiance, our love endures. Honeymoon in San Francisco closed the circle, the city of their first escape. "We've come far," Gianna reflected. Yet life's drama persisted. Valentina's big story exposed corruption, drawing threats. Gianna's film on their journey premiered, touching hearts. Through it all, their bond proved resilient, a testament to love's power. Years unfolded like chapters in a well-worn novel, Gianna and Valentina's story, weaving through America's tapestry of change and challenge. In DC, they built a home, a cozy row house in Adams Morgan, walls adorned with photos of marches, milestones, and quiet moments. Gianna's career soared. Her documentaries on queer rights screened at Sundance, earning Oscars nods. "You're changing narratives," Valentina praised. Her own journalism Pulitzer-bound for exposing discrimination in federal agencies. Rachel, now running her nonprofit, became a national voice for reform. "From inspector to advocate," she joked at fundraisers. She moved nearby, babysitting their adopted daughter Mia, a spirited toddler from foster care. "Grandma's got stories," Rachel cooed, recounting toned-down tales of airport heroics. But peace was earned, not given. Flashbacks to betrayals surfaced in therapy. Sophia's venom, family rifts. Mr. Morales remained distant, but Mrs. Morales visited yearly, bonding over Mia. "She's got your eyes, Valentina," she'd say, softening. A major conflict arose when Gianna's film stirred controversy. Conservatives boycotted, labeling it propaganda. Death threats arrived. They hired security. "Why us?" Gianna despaired. Valentina held her. "Because we're visible. We matter." Rachel's past caught up too. A former colleague leaked old files, accusing her of favoritism in Gianna's airport incident. Hearings ensued, media frenzy. "Stand tall," Gianna urged. Rachel testified powerfully. "Protecting my child wasn't bias, it was humanity." Cleared, she emerged stronger, her organization booming. Their marriage deepened with time. Anniversaries celebrated with trips. Back to New York, Miami reconciliations. Mia grew, asking about two mommies. "Love makes families," they explained. A poignant moment. Valentina's father reached out after a health scare. "I was wrong," he admitted over video. Tears flowed. Forgiveness tentative but real. As Mia entered school, new dramas. Bullying over her family. They advocated, turning pain into policy change. Gianna's next project. A series on rainbow families. In quieter times, they reflected on their journey. From that fateful airport denial to defiant love. "We defied odds," Gianna said on their 10th anniversary, toasting under stars. The story's heart lay in its humanity. Betrayals taught growth. Conflicts forged strength, romance endured. In a divided America, their tale inspired. Proof that love with persistence heals. Rachel's final gift. A memoir co-written with them. Borders of the Heart. It topped charts, sparking dialogues. As they aged gracefully, Mia carrying the torch, their legacy shone. Highs and lows blended into a rich tapestry, ending not in fairy tale perfection, but real resilient joy, a humanist triumph.